Right.
Yes.
Okay. Welcome to the IJCHT 2021. We are having the parallel session, session 3, room 6. The sub-theme is Culture, Heritage and Art. Okay. So we're going to have four presenters presenting 5 papers today. Yeah, I am Rafida Aida. I'll be your moderator, and the co-chair for today's session is Ms. Nur Shazana Yildirim. Okay, so I will just read a few guidelines before we start the presentation. Each participant is allocated 10 minutes for presentation and 5 minutes for Q&A. Our co-chair, Ms. Nur Shazana Yildirim, will alert the participant by raising her hand at minute 8 and sound the bell at minute 10. Okay, so I would like to ask all, Ms. Shazana, you want to test your bell?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, right. So that means you're out of time. Yeah. So that is but at 10 minutes. Okay. So I would like to ask all participants to please keep your mic mute. Yeah. And when the presenters are finished presenting their papers, you may unmute your mic to ask questions. Question can also be typed at the chat box. Yeah. So I'll be monitoring the chat box as well. I would like to remind everyone that at the end of the session, we're going to have a photo session. Yeah, so please stay with us until the end of the session. All right, so I would like to start with the first paper today. Yeah, I would like to call Miss Nurul Shazana Osman. She will be presenting on sensory attributes of kuih akuk, traditional versus modern baking method. Miss Shazana, the room is yours.
Okay, let me present my slide first. Oh, sorry. Excuse me, can you see my slide?
Yes.
Yes, we can see.
Okay. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to all presenters and participants. Today I'll be presenting a study entitled The Sensory Attributes of Kuih Akuk Traditional versus Modern Method. So I am Nur Shazana binti Othman from University Teknologi Maharasha Pulau Pinang. So today I will cover all the topics starting with introduction and background of the study, research objective, research question, methodology, result and discussion, research implications, research limitation, as well as conclusion. So let's move to the next slide. Yes. Nowadays, people are adapting the technology in everyday life as it is convenient and faster way of preparing food. Sadly, the knowledge about traditional way of preparing food is fading among us, especially the youngsters. So according to No et al. 2012, the survival of traditional delicacies is at risk as the studies showed the younger generation are less inclined to learn to prepare these heritage foods. Moreover, Hamza et al. 2015 stated that among the reasons given by are tedious preparation procedure that is also time consuming. Unfortunately, these important heritage foods are in danger of being forgotten, especially when adoption of modern ingredients or methods are said to change the authenticity of the delicacies. So kuih akuk is chosen as it is one of the popular traditional foods in Kelantan and Terengganu that is sweet and creamy. Usually, kuih akuk can be found in any occasion as it is a must-have snacks or dessert for Kelantan people. So for your information, kuih akuk originates from Patani, Thailand. This is because Patani people who comes and stay at Kelantan introduced the recipe of kuih akuk and make it as one of the Kelantan's traditional foods. Furthermore, there are 5 types of kuih akuk, which are akuk nisan, akuk pandan, akuk kemboja, akok belau and akok pisang. Basically, kuih akok can be found in 3 colors, including yellow color, brown color, or green color. The colors vary based on the ingredients used. Plus, kuih akok is known for its creamy taste, as the main ingredients to produce a good texture and taste of kuih akok is eggs. So the more eggs used, the creamier kuih akok produced. Not only that, the technique of baking kuih akok is also the crucial part of producing the good kuih akok. So let's move to slide number 3. So as you can see in figure 1, this is the traditional way or method to bake kuih akok. Elderly also name it as dapur kongkong or charcoal burning stove. Dapur kongkong or charcoal burning stove is made from a combination of clay and salt. Typically, this sort of Malay kitchens was filled with the scent of firewood and burning charcoal. Plus, traditionally baked kuih akok will affect the aroma of kuih akok. So for this study, it consists of 2 objectives. The first one is to evaluate the characteristic of kuih akok baked using the traditional and modern method. The second one is to determine the acceptance of kuih akok as perceived by the consumers baked using the traditional and modern method. So next is research questions. So the first research question is, what are the characteristics of kuih akok baked using the traditional and modern method? And the second research question is, what are the acceptance of kuih akok as perceived by the consumers using the traditional method and the modern method? So for the methodology, this study employed the hedonic sensory evaluation, where the panelists was asked to evaluate the attributes of kuih akok baked using the traditional method and the modern method. A total of 70 respondents residing in Kelantan were invited to participate in the research project. Residents were invited to participate in the research project. Residents of Kelantan were chosen as they are familiar with kuih akok. The test is conducted in a natural environment and not in a sensory laboratory to assure the panel's comfort and reduce a test-like reaction from the panels. The kuih akok is baked on the same day and the same time for both methods. Moreover, the serving temperature of the sample is also same for both methods before it is given to the respondents for evaluation. After that, kuih akok will cut into the same size and shape. Each respondent is given 2 samples consisting of kuih akok baked with the traditional and modern method. After that, the respondents need to fill in the sensory evaluation form, which contain the characteristic of kuih akok, including the color, the appearance, the aroma, and the texture, and also the taste. Plus, the samples were labeled with a random 3-digit code obtained from the random number table in order to prevent bias. So, let's go through for this slide. I would like to explain about the procedure for both methods. For the traditional method of baking kuih akok as shown in figure 2, the charcoal and the coconut husk need to be prepared earlier because the process of baking the kuih akok is using the amber from the charcoal and coconut husk. So the heat is from the top and bottom of the mold. So the amber from the coconut husk and charcoal need to be put under the mold and also on the top of the mold. Baking to approximately 20 minutes for the temperature of this method. It is not consistent because it depends on the circulation and the heat from the amber. Meanwhile, for the figure 3, which is the modern method, is easier than traditional method, which is its cupcake maker. Cupcake mold is greased with the using pandan leaf, and the akok batter pour into the cupcake maker. After that, close the cupcake and wait until 3 minutes and the akok is done. But for those who like the burn effect of kuih akok, so they can prolong the baking process up to 5 to 6 minutes. So the temperature for this method is consistent and even because the temperature of cupcake maker is 350 degrees Celsius. So let's move to the results. Let me explain about this spider web that showed the average of each attribute for each sample of kuih akok. Based on the spider web, the color for modern method sample is darker while sample from traditional method is lighter. This is because the heat from traditional method needs to be controlled in order to get the right color by controlling the uniformity of the heat. And it is transferred through the convection method. Meanwhile, the heat from cupcake maker is more uniform and can easily get the right color of kuih akok as the kuih is in direct contact with heating surface and heat is transferred through the conduction method. For the taste of the kuih akok baked with traditional method is creamier while the modern method is sweeter. Other than that, the aroma of kuih akok for modern method is more eggy aroma, meanwhile kuih akok made by traditional method is more to smoky aroma. This is because the traditional sample is exposed to the smoke of charcoal and coconut husk. Meanwhile, the modern method is using electric cupcake maker and not exposed to any smoke. Furthermore, the appearance of the traditional sample is less wrinkled than modern sample that is smoother. This may be a result of the consistency of heat that used to bake kuih akok. So the last characteristic is the texture of the kuih akok baked by traditional method is harder while the modern method is softer. This may be due to the traditional baked akok is exposed to the convection heat, so more moisture will evaporate from the batter. Meanwhile, in modern method, the batter is in a closed system, therefore moisture loss is less and more controlled. So I would like to explain about the t-test a little bit. So next is the t-test result of the consumer preference of kuih akok baked by traditional and modern method. So sign to tail, which is P equal to 0.055, there was not a significant difference for consumer preference of kuih akok baked by traditional and modern method. So this result is to show that the application of new method to cook the traditional kuih is acceptable by the consumer. So as you can see, this is the end result for both methods. So I will jump to research limitations. So the research limitation for this study is data from this research is limited to kuih akok baked in the modern cupcake maker only. Plus, by using infrared or microwave may produce different results of kuih akok. So as for the conclusion, I can conclude that modern technology can lead to the positive side of sustainability of traditional food that is slowly forgotten by the youngsters. Based on the results above, it is shown that using modern technology to bake kuih akok does affect the sensory characteristic of kuih akok. However, the traditional kuih akok is acceptable to the consumers despite not prepared in accordance to the traditional method. Plus, adoption of modern technology in the preparation of traditional delicacy is viable. That's all from me. Thank you for your time and I appreciate your helpful comments with that. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Ms. Shazana. You may leave your slide. You may still share your slide. I open the floor for any questions. Questions from the floor? Okay, since there's no question, I will ask a question. Ms. Shazana, when you use the cupcake method, how long did you bake it for? Because you said that if you want it to be slightly darker, so you go for 5 minutes, right? So in your experiment, how long did you bake the kuih akok for?
Right. Thank you for the question. So for my experiment, so my study, I use 3 minutes. 3 minutes. In order because I don't want the burn effect because it will affect the results. So I just want the original one. So I just use 3 minutes, 3 to 4 minutes.
3 to 4 minutes. Okay. So it is cooked thoroughly.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any more questions? Okay, since there's no more question, thank you, Miss Shazana. Congratulations, yeah, you did a very good job. Okay, all right. So I would like to call the next presenter, Miss Zhou Hongyu. You are here, yeah? Okay, Miss Zhou is going to present a paper titled "Residents' Attitude Towards Panda National Park and Conservation, Culture Tourism Development, a case study of Yan and Mianyang District." So the floor is yours.
Hi, can you hear me? It's my
Yes.
turn, right?
Yes, it's your turn.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. We'll wait for a while.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. As you see, here's a very cute picture. The animal is panda, the almost famous animal in China. Yes, I came from the place which panda is lived in, and I still a student, the PhD student from Thailand, neither. And in fact, in China, the government have built a very big natural park for this animal named Panda Natural Park. And this is the picture I take in this Panda Natural Park. It's amazing. And this picture is from there too. It's a very good news that we built other animals there. But here is in the world. For example, is the people who lives in Panda Natural Park. They are very traditional. They are very traditional villages with a very union way of life. The residents are limits to plants to cut trees and so on because the nature protection for a long time. And maybe in the future, it can be more strict because of natural park. The people who lives in this area, what they are thinking, do they feel happy? What they wish to get from natural park, they can develop culture, tourism, development to protect panda, and at the same time, they can have more incomes for their lives. So this is the topic I wish to share with you. The residents' attitudes towards Panda Natural Park and conservation, culture, tourism development. A case study of Ya'an and Mianyang district. And the outline include 4 directions: background, literature review, methodology, future research. First part, I will introduce background of the study. As we know, at present, environmental protection has become a global public awareness. As you can see in the screen, in fact, more than 4,000 natural parks in the world have been built up. And after I search from Google and other places, we can find a lot of paper is talking about the public's attention. So, but in China, when I search from CNKI, Chinese Natural Knowledge Infrastructure, I found there's few papers talking about the attitudes who lives in natural park. That's because it's only for several years for Chinese to build natural park. So it's very important for Chinese people. And in fact, there's a very interesting point here. The Chinese land policy is quite different from other countries because the lands in China is all belongs to government, not to the people who lives in there. The people who lives in there only can rent the land from government. So when they do the decision, they will be quite different, and their attitudes will be quite different too. So the study in China will found the natural park residents' attitudes in which the land belongs to the government. Why the study is important? Because the result can provide policy to develop natural protection, sustainable culture sustainable, such as the policy related to working, collaborate. Hence, local residents can be employed and make their to get more money. The result of the research will help to improve tourism sustainable destination, and they can help to improve employment rate if destinations are well managed and good serves, hence resulting tourists in intention to visit natural park. The result of this study will give some academic value about residents' attitudes towards natural park in the international world, especially with the thinking of the elements about land ownership. So this study, the main aim will be is to investigate residents' attitudes towards Panda Natural Park and conservation, culture, tourism development. Part 2, literature review. After reading almost every paper I can find, we can get the idea. We built the natural park because we wish to have the successful conservation. And which one will be very important part? That's the local support. Local support, if the people, they feel happy and they support the natural park, that natural park will be easier to have the success. And the natural park, that's the attitudes will be very important elements. So that's why I choose this topic, attitudes towards natural park. And after reading a lot of papers, the residents' attitudes will be studied for 3 directions. First one is towards natural park. Second one towards environmental protection. I think it's different because the first part, most of the residents will feel happy if you build a natural park. But the second part, if you have the environmental protection, people wish to have the tourism development is a very important way to get the more income, and they can use the way to protect which elements will influence residents' attitudes. It will include 4 directions. First one is residents' personal characteristic or not. The second part is village tourism characteristic. That means how about the village itself? Is it good developed to the tourism already or not? Is it have the chance to develop the tourism and so on? So it writes there are 3 directions to this part. And the third part is a relationship between the human and the land. The first one is residence community belonging. That means if the people, they think they belong to this village, they think the village is their hometown, maybe they will feel, sometimes when I ask some people, they feel unhappy to a lot of tourists from other place to come to where they are living, and it's a very important part when they decide how to face the natural park construction. The second part is residents' dependence on tourism. If they get a lot of income from tourists, a lot of people, maybe they will support tourism and support natural park. Third part is residents' tourism contact. That means if a lot of tourists come to the village, the people will feel happy at the beginning because they can have a good income. But when the tourism developed very well, too much people come here, they will feel unhappy. So it's a very important element too. The fourth one is residents. Maybe they will use the tourism facilities. If they have the chance to use that, they will feel happy. If they have no chance to use, maybe they will feel unhappy. And the fifth part is residents circle in a tourism destination. That means does the residents live in a place not far away from the tourism destination? Is it very far or not? So this part will decide what they feel, what's their attitudes. And the fourth part is external tourism environmental. That means the media and some related social environment will influence residents' attitudes. So this is the capture framework proposal for the study. Methodology. A qualitative approach will be used in a deep interview technique employed for the data collecting process. Content analysis will be used for the study. More than 35 participants will be interviewed. And
excuse me,
and
Ms.
this
Zhao,
is the research
you have 5 minutes. Yeah?
This question to the people who having the interview is all designed according to the capital structure. And 3 villages will be choose to study. First one is the developed as a tourism destination. A lot of tourists from other places have been to the village. The second village will be the semi-tourism destination. And third village will be a one which is not developed as the tourism destination. So we can find out in different stage the attitudes of these people maybe have a different idea. And in the future, what I should do is collect data face to face. In fact, I have been to Panda Natural Park for several times, and I have get some ideas from that. But in the future, I will be there winner again. Then I will analyze data. Then I will finish the thesis. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Zhao. It's a very interesting presentation. I now open the floor for any questions. Question from the floor?
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
The,
I was wondering, this national park, are they the protected area?
You mean it's the can you repeat your question again?
Is national park in China a protected area? You need a permit to be inside the national park?
Area.
Yes.
You mean it is a tourism destination already or not? Do you ask this question?
Yes.
In fact, yes, it's in fact a lot of people will go into this area, but I think it's 10 years ago, Chinese government have protected this area already, but it's not very huge. But nowadays, Chinese government are making this area bigger, and the policy will renew. Maybe other things will other policy will be put out. So in fact, a lot of people will drive to there, but not a lot of people. Some place will have the tourist, not every place, because it's very huge, and the government wish to protect the animal. They do not allow the people to go into everywhere in natural park. Only some place can be allowed to come in to go into. Yeah.
Hi. Hi, this is
Anne?
yeah, this is Anne. I'm actually doing this project with Zoe. Go back to your question. That's a very good question. That we need to be aware of the enter into the national park, right? That your question is if we will go there, we need to get permission, right? You asked our question.
No. In fact, it's a very huge, very huge area.
Sorry.
In the
listen.
uh-huh.
So listen to me. I just want to go back to the question of Professor Matya, right? You raised a very good question there. And this national park actually, yes, it's now been governed by government. And to get into the area, yes, we will need a permit to get there. And as this national park,
No.
Zoe presents, it was.
It's okay. It's
when
okay
we go to collect data.
all...
Sorry, when we go to collect data, we need to ask permission.
In fact, it's allowed to go into there. It's okay to go into there. Do not have the you do not have to be permit from the government.
Thank you for your
Why? Hello.
Any more questions from the floor? Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. I think it's I think it is in terms of to go to collect data. Yes, definitely. we need to ask permission to collect data, because we cannot go in there without consent form. We cannot go in without propose the letter ask permission from the government. So if we're gonna do yeah.
No, in fact, it's
Let's
okay.
move on, okay?
It's okay. Tourists can go into there. Just if you go into there, you cannot
Listen,
catch the animals, but you can go into there. And sometimes there's no road,
Yeah.
no way to go into there because it's a huge mountain. But the village is okay for anyone to go into.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Alright.
understand that. So we're talking about research ethics, okay? We're talking about research ethics.
Yeah.
In the perspective of research ethics, we need to ask government to collect data. But for tourists, you can go, no problem. If you will conduct, research, you need to find that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hui.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Yeah. All right. All right. So, we're going to have the next paper. The next paper will be.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Excuse me. The next paper will be presented by our co-chair, Ms. Nur Shazana Yildirim. The topic is customer acceptance towards modern food truck in Klang Valley. Ms. Shazana, the floor is yours.
Hello? Is everyone can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Assalamualaikum and hi to everyone. Thank you to our chairperson, Dr. Rafida Aida, to all the participants and to all the audience for entry. Hi, my name is Shazana. I'm from UITM Penang, and now I'm going to present my paper about customer acceptance toward modern food truck. Before that, I'm going to be the timekeeper of myself. Okay. All right. Without further ado, I try to make it simplified because we have a very time constraint. So this is the background and problem statement of the study. For your information, in Malaysia, for those audience who are non-Malaysia, modern food truck is a food truck that has kept all those kitchen utensils attached in the modern in the food truck itself. It's not like the food truck that you saw hawkers food like rojak and selling all those crackers. So what is the background of the studies? We can see lately there is a lot of rapid urbanization and changes in lifestyle, especially in Malaysia. Based on STARS, the STARS, which is a newspaper in Malaysia, modern food truck tried to penetrate Malaysia market ever since 2014. So basically these studies have undertaken before COVID-19 came to our world. So based on Fromer and Gell, there is rapid growth for the food truck industries. And what is the problem statement that I can see the opportunity for these studies? There are few research have been made referring to the modern food truck, and then the numbers of modern food trucks around Klang Valley during that time, before there is Tapak 1 in KLCC and Tapak 2 in nearby Cyberjaya have take place, they are very limited. Even though there is an opportunity, but there is limited. So based on, we can see based on Abdul et al., Malaysia is one of the countries that have high cases of foodborne disease. So which whereby these studies were taking on technology acceptance model to see how they adapt with new model, new technology to give, and we're going to see to end user how they use the technology. So next, this is the research question and objective. So I want to identify the relationship between the consumer priorities towards the customer acceptance, and then we want to identify the innovativeness and the customer acceptance, and also the continuous communication and customer acceptance. Next, this is the theoretical framework. Basically, this framework I have adapted from Fromer and Gall and Brun 2008. So as we can see, there are, based on my IV, there are 3 IV and 1 DV, but we have in every each of IV there is still item consisting of convenient, health conscious, food safety. And for the innovativeness, I'm looking into the innovation and technology and also continuous communication. So next, this is literature review for those who didn't familiar with modern food truck. As I have told you earlier, is like entrepreneurship incubators. It is a set of a place that it can prepare from A to Z, from the meal until it was served, the end product to the consumers. And we are going to see about the customer acceptance itself. Okay, next, I try to simplify consumer priorities to look into. Next, we're going to see continuous communication, and last, innovativeness. So I skip. Okay, this is my research methodology. Basically, I don't use robust analysis. I'm using only SPSS. So what is the instrument? I'm using self-administered questionnaires, email and face-to-face. Ever since this is someone to see how they use and adapt the technology, the person, the questionnaire, the questionnaire was given to those who have experience before, and also for those who know what is actually modern food truck. So how these studies have take place. It takes place around Klang Valley, which is, we know in Malaysia, Klang Valley is considered as a place that normally there is a high population, as well as technology acceptance is quite fast compared to other regions in Malaysia. So it goes to food fiesta and festival, and this questionnaire actually used Crazy and Morgan, which is 384. However, he go into 400. So we go for 400 so that we're gonna accept there is some error for certain respondent. So by using non-probability sampling, like convenient sampling, and also self-administered. Okay, next. This is the research instrumentation by using 4 Likert scales. I'm going to ask several questions. There are 5 segmentation and 40 questions. Basically, all the question is have already go into pilot studies, so that we're going to know whether it is easy to get by the people who want to answer the question itself. Next, this is the data analysis and validity. We go into pre-test, pilot, and of course statistical analysis such as descriptive analysis. We go under EFA, reliability, Psn correlation, and multiple regression. Okay, basically this is the result and finding. Okay, this is the result and finding. Oh, my balance time is already left a little bit. So this, but based on demographic profile, we can see the highest gender who purchase this is female, and age range 21 to 30, and this is the education level. Most of them are private sector, and their gross income per month is RM2,000 to RM2,999 ringgit. And this is the reliability analysis that we can get. Basically, the result is quite acceptable and quite strong, which is very good, more than 0.6. Okay, next, this is Psn correlation. As we know, that all of the results show it is significant, and the p-value is more than 0.01, not more than 0.01. So it shows there are positive relationship within IV and DV. And this is also the multi-regression analysis, or shows that most of the results are supported and only 4 doesn't show, it shows partially supported. And based on the discussion, we can see for the first, by answering first RQ1, which is, do the consumer priorities give effect on the customer acceptance on the modern food truck? And the answer is yes. The convenience leads to the greatest influence, which whereby we can know it is different compared to brick and mortar restaurant. Brick and mortar restaurant, it is we can justify as there is static in one place. If this by this incumbents entrepreneurship, such as this modern food truck, you can easily to reach your marketplace in many places, such as during COVID. I mean during COVID, because during COVID, in any fiesta, they easily go anywhere. So they are hit, and they are actually, we call sensation towards or people in Klang Valley during my time when I ran this study. So we can see, however, as Brun, health enhancing properties, which are the key for the consumer benefit. We can see by adapting this technology itself, the food was served, for hot food is served hot and cold food is served cold. This is something better than we buy from the hawker's food, which we take care of the quality itself. Next, the RQ2. How far the innovativeness had affect the customer acceptance? And the answer is also positive. It shows innovativeness also supported. And next, we're gonna see continuous communication. And last, I'm going to focus on the limitation and future research. Okay, for the limitation, during this study was run, the references and research and data as I seen is quite lack. In Malaysia. It has a lot and tremendous numbers in US, such as Europe. Which whereby this study can contribute towards the number. And the places for the food truckers is a place that we can say quite hip, and the acceptance is quite high. And the time constraint also completing to the research, which this research only conduct for a few months. So I think if we can make the research quite, the gap is actually a lot of gap in these studies, such as we can go into challenges, especially licenses and so on. Last but not least is the future research. I hope by these studies, it can create more opportunity to prepare suitable places and also to educate the society itself. All right. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lana, for keeping to the time. Okay. Any questions from the floor?
Anything? Any questions?
Any question to ask? Ms. Shazana, may I have a look at the your final slide?
My
The
final
last picture.
slide?
The second last.
Okay.
Sorry, I just want to make sure that I got it right. If I'm not mistaken, you say that okay, the future research. The last one, to create an opportunity to prepare a suitable place for is gone already. Okay.
Yeah.
So if there is a suitable place, would that make because food truck is actually something that is mobile. So
Yeah.
if you have a designated place, then it won't be mobile again. So what do you mean? What do you actually mean when you say that suitable place for these food trucks?
Thank you, Dr. Rafida, for the interesting question. Okay, basically, based on my reading from what are the name? 2012. I cannot remember what's the name. By the paper, he said in America, they take this case study in Minnesota. They do this suitable places. It means they create there's a park. They paint it like what we say, a place for they put some time and a place for them to for the all those food truckers and to go every weekly. They have to book the petak, well in English, petak, the place and they have to go. So
So it's something like our pasar malam, is it?
yeah.
I see.
Because in Malaysia, because during that time, there are certain cases regarding safety happen. For instance, all those mobile food truck, they've just simply park at the center of the road. Therefore, it will create jam, traffic jam, accident. So if they put in certain place like tapak 1, tapak 2, that is only in the central of Klang Valley. But this can be create more places around Malaysia in North area, East Coast, whereby it easy for all those food truckers to focus on their marketplaces itself, and they just pay rental by weekly or by daily or something like that for the government agency bodies to look into, like PBT, pihak berkuasa tempatan like MBSA, MBSP. Am I answering your question?
Yes. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, it will be interesting. Hopefully, after the pandemic, after this movement control, we'll see makeup of the food truck. Okay, if there's no more questions, I think we're ready for your next presentation.
So can I go to next?
Yeah, so I'll just read the title. Yeah, the next paper also presented by Ms. Shazana is the acceptance of Malay heritage condiments among Malay Y generation in Malaysia.
Alright, thank you, Dr. Rafida. Okay, basically, my partner is on maternity leave, so I have to present a paper, but it's okay. Today, I'm gonna present about the acceptance of Malay heritage condiment among Malay Y generation in Malaysia. So next, I'm going to see it. Okay, this is the chapter 1 for the introduction. For those who our friend is from non-Malaysians, from Thailand, from international friends, today I'm going to talk about Malaysia condiments, something that we is popular around Malaysia. However, they are not popular among generation Y. So we will look into that. So the background of the study. Heritage food is an expression of culture, history and lifestyle. And by looking, like just now for the first presenter, she talked about akok. Okay, but now I'm talking about condiments that consist 4 condiments, which is sambal belacan, tempoyak, chinchilla and also budu. So what is the problem actually? Recently, we can see fast food consumption is getting popular among generation Y, which is we can say around for those who born 1980s to 1994, 96. Right now we have generation Z for millennials. We have millennials. We have generation Z, and this is for generation Y. So this new trend of consumption actually make it decrease the consumption of the consumption of the heritage food itself. It means we try to look into the problem why this generation Y, they actually don't consume, or is just such a perception. So by looking into hedonic characteristic, I'm going to look for these 4 condiments. There, first condiment is sambal belacan. For your information, sambal belacan is made from bird's eye chilies, red chilies and also shrimp paste. Next is chinchilla. Chinchilla is fermented small shrimp with chilies. We can see like normally we can see in bottle shape like this near the grocery shop. And then next, budu. Budu is very popular among Kelantanis, Terengganu, right? It is fermented anchovies condiment. And next and last, we're gonna see for tempoyak. Tempoyak is also fermented from durian flesh, and normally this is the famous food if we use in tempoyak, patin masak lemak, patin tempoyak. This is quite famous, especially in Pahang. So what's the next? We're going to see for the TF, theoretical framework. This is the very direct framework, which is going to check.
Excuse me, Ms. Shazana, you're not presenting any slide, is it?
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Did I not presenting my slide?
Yeah. We can't see your slide.
I'm so sorry. Okay. I'm so sorry. I just check out back. I'm so sorry. So all the way you looking at my face, Dr. Rafida, I'm so sorry.
Yes. I thought you're still in introduction. Okay.
Yeah. It's a lucky thing I'm in introduction. Okay, this is just now the background and the problem statement. This is background studies. We look into sambal belacan, tempoyak, cicalo and budu, which is normally we're gonna eat normally with local salad like ulam-ulaman, right? This is the problem statement like I said just now, fast food consumption, decreasing consumption around heritage food among generation Y, availability, and also most of our generation Y in Malaysia, they love Western food more than Malay food. This is quite reality scenario. Okay, this is just now I'm talking about. This is sambal belacan, this is chinchalo, this is budu, and also this is tempoyak. I'm not so sure for all those friends who outside from non-Malaysia, but I think if you stay in Malaysia around 1 month, sure you know, because this is quite delicious to eat together with the rice. So this is our TF, very direct to check to see the hedonic characteristic and knowledge on product among generation Y acceptance. I misplaced generation Y here. So this is our research objective, to determine the hedonic factors that influence Malay Y generation's acceptance and to investigate the knowledge factor that influence Y generation. So the research question, what we want to see actually, we want to see, does hedonic factors influence the Malay Y generation acceptance, and also how does knowledge influence Y generation acceptance of Malay heritage condiment. So this is the research hypothesis. Like we can see, there are to see or to look for the hedonic characteristic. We're going to look for sambal belacan, tempoyak, budu, and also chinchalo. Okay, next. This is the significance of the study. Based on the academical, we want to see the new body for literature to provide facts and proof. Okay, for the practical, we want to encourage delectable heritage food to raise awareness and also looking into the supply chain itself. Okay, next. This is the literature review that I've been done around. We can see into heritage food, hedonic characteristic to see the appearance, taste, aroma, and texture based on Castello et al. 2010 and Cardillo et al. 2007. To see into the knowledge of product, the relationship between hedonics, and also to see the acceptance. Next, this is the methodology. Okay, this is basically is a quantitative approach. It's same. We didn't use robust analysis. It's just SPSS. But this one you use 5-point Likert scales. Sample size we use based on 95% confidence by Isaac and Michael 1981. By using stratified sampling method to see around people targeting people around Selangor, and then we use convenience as well, and then this we go for the statistical analysis. We go for preliminary data analysis, reliability, Psn correlation, and multiple linear regression. Next, okay, basically the result is all positive, and then basically all is supported more daily. We can say this is one of it. We can see reliability analysis. We can look into the number of the result shows quite high. It's more than 0.6, and they are quite high here, 0.9 to 1 under tempoyak. It means that they accept for hedonic characteristic, that is the highest, followed by chinchalo, and then budu, and last is sambal belacan. So the knowledge and product we can see by subjective knowledge is quite higher than objective knowledge, and acceptance the highest go to chinchalo compared to next budu, then tempoyak and sambal belacan. I'm not so sure, maybe those who stay Selangor, they have Kelantanese friend or they are from Kelantan, because if I myself love sambal belacan, but doesn't matter what I like, because this is what we call research. Okay, for the chapter 5, findings and discussion, we can look into everything is contradict and also supported. It's just we're going to look more into the discussion ever since we have time constraint. Okay, first, our discussion to determine the hedonic factors that influence Malay Y generation acceptance. So we can look appearance, taste, aroma and texture of condiments as overall does have a high significant relationship, whereby it means they our generation, Y generation is actually not bad. We just have that perception generation Y doesn't accept it, but actually they have. And the hedonic attributes like appearance, smell, texture and taste are considered the most important criteria. And we can say the acceptance is quite high, especially for generation Y, for those who born near 1980s to 1990. So the statistic quite high for the ages compared to 1990s to 1994. So the second research objective, which is to investigate the knowledge factor that influence Y generation's acceptance of Malay heritage condiment. First, we can see the knowledge of condiment upon sambal belacan, tempoyak, budu and cicalo have a very positive relationships towards Y generation, which is we can see the result is quite good. And then the Y generation are knowledgeable and familiar about the heritage, and familiarization and knowledge are important to attract the tourists by Hafiza et al. 2015. So next we can see into the conclusion and recommendation. I have another 1 minute. The recommendation that based on this study we can decide that it is ever since the limitation. I'm going to the limitation first. This we lack of secondary data ever since in Malaysia. We lack of studies regarding to all those Malay traditional food, condiments, ethnic food. We are hiking into that number, but during this study was conducted is quite lack. And then most of the respondents is from the same ethnic. We can say most of them is Malay. So and the study only covers around Selangor area. So what we can recommend for the next researcher who love to do in this area, we can see better you can do in another places out from Selangor. Maybe you can do in Kelantan, Melaka, but I think if Kelantan the result is quite better because that is their mother tongue, they love that food. So the next, they collect data on socio-economic characteristic lifestyle. Of course, we want to see more, we want to diverse more into this topic. And last, by looking at the broader scope, especially we looking into other ethnic groups, like all our friends that non-Malaysia. For your information, Malaysia is quite a unique country. We have a lot of ethnics here. We have Sabah, Sarawak, we have a lot, hundreds of ethnics. So maybe next we can do studies on upon another ethnic as well. And last, we can say the conclusion is hedonic characteristic of heritage condiment help to determine food preference and acceptance. And then Y generation aware the variation of condiment and can differentiate type of condiment, even though this condiment probably not part of their daily meal. It means all those for those who are in market, the supply chain, they can look into this, how to be more visible, enter the supermarket, enter the supply chain and go into Shopee. Like right now we can see we can buy budu and cicalok in Shopee as well. Like everything was in there. We can use idagang. And then the condiment was accepted by the youngest age, even though the fast food is dominated by the industry. And last but not least, the information and knowledge about heritage food should be exposed. This is maybe this should take part under government itself, tourism, Ministry of Tourism, how to promote our culture food as well. Okay, that's all from me, Dr. Rafida. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Shazana, for a very interesting presentation. I again open the question the Q&A session. Any question from the floor?
Anybody who love to know Malaysian food?
Okay, while we're waiting for questions from the floor, Ms. Shazana, when this study is conducted in Selangor, right?
Yeah.
Did you ask about their hometown, the hometown of your respondents? Because I'm quite surprised. Sambal belacan is the last,
Yeah.
the least like product, right?
Thank you. Because what you asked is actually answered because what basically the question is very good because I myself I from North. I am not from Northern. I think sambal belacan will get my highest point, not budu. But it shows for those who stay in Selangor, is most of them are from East Coast.
Yeah, that's why. I think that's why, probably why your
You shocked, right? Because
the
budu
results
is not
good
so
to it.
popular, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I love budu.
because it is very regional. When you talk about budu, belacan, chinchalo, and tempoyak, it's very regional. Whereas I would say sambal belacan is something that is widely accepted in the whole of Malaysia.
Right.
So probably for the next cycle of research, you can look into where their home state is.
Correct.
Probably most of them are from the East Coast, like you say.
More, even some of them say budu can use to make nasi goreng. I like.
Yeah. Yes, I've heard of that.
I didn't try. Maybe we can try tomorrow, Doctor. So, any question?
Any more questions from the floor?
Good afternoon, Dr. Lee
yeah.
from Sarawak. I want to
Yes.
ask Ms. Jana,
Alright.
what is the sample size that you use for this study?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Liu. Basically, the sample size that being used is 384 under Tracy Morgan.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you, Ms. Azana.
Thank
we
you.
actually have one more presenter, but I'm not sure whether is Miss Benapala here? Miss Benapala, who's supposed to be presenting on the evaluation of the motivation of diaspora visit to the homeland within the scope of cultural heritage asset. I haven't seen. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we're short of one presenter. I've tried to contact her through WhatsApp. Also no response. So probably she's because she's in Turkey. I'm not sure Turkey is probably early. It's still quite morning in Turkey. It's not evening, afternoon yet. Okay, so I think that wraps up our session for today. I would like to thank everyone for attending this session. Yeah. Could we all switch on our camera so that we can have a group photo?
Yeah, we have a group photo session. Okay. Can everyone open up your camera?
Miss Rasmi, Miss Radiato, Miss Umaira, Miss Hidayah, Prof. N, are you still here? Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. Okay. Miss Rasmi.
Hi, Rasmi.
That's all?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Okay, by the count of three, please smile. 1. Oh, okay. There comes another one. Come. Right, by the count of three, I'm gonna step few photos. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next, can I have a good? Good. It looks good in your photo if you do this kind of good.
Thanks.
Okay, in the count of three, with a good thumb. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Yeah, we hope to see you in the closing ceremony tomorrow. Hi, Rasmi.
Thank you everyone for having us.
Are you well, Rasmi?
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.